Hello and welcome to this recorded lecture on SAM projects for Word Project 2. If you would log into the SAM website using your student account, and when you get to the site on the activity list, you'll see all the available projects that you can still work on. Find the Word Project 2 and whoops, the screen jumped on me there. Word Project 2, select that. And for this Word Project 2, there's a note here at the beginning that says that this project does not work, not fully compatible with Mac version of Office. So you might want to use the Windows version of Office. It's available on all WKU campus labs. And if you have any access to any Windows machine from your dorm room or at your home, you can use Windows 365. It's available for free for students. So we'll be using, these videos are all recorded using Office for Windows. 1, 2, 3 are the process for doing a SAM project. Download the start file, download the instructions. Step 2, download the start file, personalized to your name. And step 3, upload the file when you're done. So let's do those. First, we'll get the start file. I'm downloading the instructions. I'm downloading the instructions in my document. My web browser saves them to the desktop. And I open that up. And I'll see when I turn off protected view, the yellow bar across the top. I do trust this source, so I will turn off the protected view and go into editing mode. There's the housekeeping that comes at the beginning, which says to download the personalized start file, your name _1, rename it your name _2. So the only thing you change is the 1 to a 2. There should be a docx extension, but if you don't see it on your machine when you're revising it, it's because it's already there. You don't have to type in a docx, just type in the _2 and replace the _1 with an _2. And on the file, when you look at it, your name should appear in the footer across the bottom. If your name doesn't appear in the footer, download a good fresh start file and start over. So let's get that. Let's do the second part of this. Let's get our start file. So again, mine's going to be saved on the desktop. So open the file up from the desktop. Yellow bar across the top tells us this is protected mode. I'm going to allow that. And I see up here at the top that it's student name _1. And in the footer, this file created for student name _1. I want to save this as, on the desktop here, I want to save this as _2. The only thing I'm changing is the 1 to a 2. So now, student name _2 with this file created specifically for your name. And this is we're good to go with our initial housekeeping. In this project, what we're going to be doing is writing a research paper, putting the start of a research paper has already been given for us here. We already have the start of a research paper, but works cited, footnotes, endnotes, using some of those research reference features of Microsoft Word. So this is a useful project. For your written communication class, you are writing a short research paper. To conform to MLA guidelines, modify the document's normal style by changing the font to be Times New Roman, font size to 12 point, and line spacing to double with no blank spaces after the paragraphs. Now what we're changing here is not the document, but the normal style for the document. So we have to edit the normal style to be Times New Roman 12 point double. So let's go back to our document that we're editing. And the styles are up here. And we want to edit the style. We want to edit the normal style. And here's the normal style. It's our very first option. If I right click on this, I can say modify. And when you modify the normal style, this dialog box pops up. The modify style dialog box. Make sure that normal is what you're selecting here. And we're making this 12 point Times New Roman. And we're also making it double spaced. Now we don't get a pop-up hint, but this is single, 1.5, and double spacing is our line spacing here. And I can see it. It does give me the feedback here that I've got Times New Roman 12 point double spaced. So I can't see it, but that's the double space icon for getting that. To get the no blank space after paragraph, we go under the format option and change the paragraph so that the spacing after, set that to 0. But everything in my document that uses normal style will now be 12 point Times New Roman double spaced. apply that normal style that we just created to the first 4 paragraphs, Crystal Matheson, and a date. So here's Crystal Matheson, the instructor, all 4 of those paragraphs. I now apply the normal style to them, and I can see it did come out 12 point Times New Roman, and paragraph is double spacing. If I want to pull it up, I can see that it's double spacing there in our paragraph. But that's because we changed the style to have those properties. Step 3, center the title paragraph, a solution for food, desserts, microfarms. Deserts, microfarms. Center that. That's in the Home tab, the center paragraph option. Insert a header as follows. Insert a blank header at the top of the page. Right align the header paragraph. Type Matheson as the header text, a space, and then insert a plain number in the current position gallery, and then close the header. Okay, so we're doing a header that's right aligned with Matheson. We'll go ahead and grab that. And then a page number. So let's do headers. So insert, we have the option of doing our headers, and we're doing a blank header. So under the Insert tab, there's the header and footer group, and the very first option is a blank header. And that's what it gives us. Now our instructions tell us that we're supposed to right align the header and type Matheson and a page number. So I'm going to take this header and I'm going to go under the Home tab and I'm going to right align it. And then I'm going to type in Matheson, M-A-T-H-I-S-O-N, space, and then I'm going to insert a page number in the current position. And we do that by looking in the Design tab, and there is page number option, and there's a top, bottom, page number, and current position. I want to do the current position because my cursor is right now blinking to the right of Matheson, and then just a simple page number, and then close the header. Step 5, create a first line indent of 1/2 inch for the body paragraphs, beginning with "in the United States" and ending with "avenues of profitable enterprises." So I think it's the entire document, "in the United States," and select all the way down to avenues for profitable enterprises. And we want to do go back to our instructions here, we want to do a first line indent of 1/2 inch. So in the Home group, in the Paragraphs tab, we can come here and say indentation, first line indent of 1/2 inch. Now, if I have my ruler on, view the ruler, the first line indent is also this top line. This is the left indent, but this thing is the first line indent. So I also could have done it by dragging this to a 1/2 inch. That would have worked as well. View ruler, you can turn the ruler on and turn the ruler off by doing view ruler. What it looks like is this half line indent, half inch indent every new paragraph. Change the citations and bibliography style to for the document to be MLA. So in the References tab, there is a style. APA is the default, or whatever the default is, doesn't matter. You're going to make it MLA. That will affect the information it asks for when creating bibliographies and the way it displays the bibliographies at the end when you create them automatically. Step 7 says, in the sentence "in the United States" that ends "fresh fruits and vegetables," move the insertion point, the cursor, before the period at the end of the citation, and then create a new source that has the information shown in Figure 1 below, a website from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Okay. So in the United States, fresh foods and vegetables, and that's this very first sentence, "in the United States," ends with "fresh foods and vegetables." Put the cursor, the insertion point, so that it's blinking just before the ending period. And then insert a citation using a new source. So let me go under Review, References, and there's Insert Footnotes and Insert Citations. So we want to go to the Insert Citations, and we want to do Insert Citation, a new citation. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 citations that already exist, but we're going to add a new source. So we select the Add New Source option. And this dialog box pops up, and we scroll down to a website. We find the website, which is about 5th or 6th or 8th from the list. And the list of properties that the style you have chosen, MLA, is looking for a website is automatically known by Microsoft Word. So it helps you fill that information out. And then I just type the information that I see from the document there. I'm going to go ahead and pause while I type that in. Actually, I'll type this, talk as I type this. This might be useful. So I'm just getting this information from the figure on the instructions. The corporate author is checked, and we type in United States Department of Agriculture. Name of the web page is Food Sources. We have the year accessed, 2018, October 12, and the medium is electronic. Now this tag name is added for us automatically, so we don't have to do anything for that. And we just say OK. And it adds that reference for us. Okay. Step 8. Insert a citation to the existing Johnson source before the period of the third sentence. Most food desserts are in cities such as Oklahoma City. Food deserts. As I read that now, it's got one S. And I think a food desert means a place where there's not food readily available for people that live in that area. So there's a pre-existing citation for Johnson. For the paragraph, the sentence, most food deserts are in cities such as Oklahoma City. So let's go back to our document. Here's that line. Most food deserts are in cities such as Detroit, Milwaukee, Phoenix, Oklahoma City. So putting the cursor right before the end of that paragraph, right before the period, and we're going to insert a citation to the existing Johnson source. So now we're going to say under the references, insert citation, but we're not going to create a new one this time. We're going to use the existing Johnson source, America's Worst Food Deserts. In the fourth sentence of the first body paragraph, however, living in ending with fresh food options, use the thesaurus to replace the word assure with a more common synonym that starts with the letter G. However, living in up to food options. So here we go. However, living in up to food options. So there's the paragraph. And I want to use the thesaurus to replace the word assure with a similar word that begins with a G, or a thesaurus related word. So let's use the thesaurus that's here in the where's the thesaurus at? Is it in the review? Yeah, in the review option, the review tab, there's a thesaurus option. And clicking this will pull the thesaurus pane up to the right. And for assure, finding a word that begins with G, I've got guarantee. And I can click on that and say insert. That's the easiest way to do it. If I just click on insert without saying insert, if I just click on guarantee without saying insert, it pulls up the thesaurus, lets you kind of dig into it. But my document still says assure. So what I want to do is I want to find the word that I want and then come down here and say insert. And it will then replace my document. It'll edit my document by replacing assure with guarantee. In the second paragraph, find the sentence, the aim is, the sentence ends with growth. Move the insertion point before the period and insert the citation to a new source using the article in a periodical. So we're going to add this information to the aim is growth on the second paragraph. So here's our second paragraph. We're looking for this paragraph here that says the aim is to build a sustainable ecosystem that promotes growth. We're going to put the cursor right before the period at the end of that sentence. Go to the References tab, and insert a citation. And again, we're doing a new source. So the new source, create source dialog box pops up. In this case, it's an article and a periodical. So find article and periodical. It's the fourth one, at least on my pull down here. And we'll type in the author information. We will type in the title. Type in the periodical title, Farming Times. Type in the year, 2017, the month, July, the day 8th, pages 20 to 22, and print. The tag name is filled in for us automatically. We don't have to do that. And we say OK. And it types that source for us in our document. Step 11. To provide additional information at the end of the second paragraph, move the insertion point immediately after the period in the sentence, fruit trees and bushes, and insert a footnote with the following text. So now we're going to do a footnote that such practices are called companion planting. And this is a footnote after the sentence, fruit trees and bushes. So the very end here, foot trees and bushes, the cursor goes after, not before the period, but after the period. And we're going to insert a footnote. Confirm that real quick here. Insert a footnote. So in references, we're going to say insert footnote. And when I type insert footnote, it brings me down to the document. I want to start typing. Now I have to be careful here. If I'm copying and pasting, the text you got from Word has formatting into it. So if I just paste what I had before, it's got the bold. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that if you're pasting, that you're doing, you're pasting text only. So on the little paste option, there's a down arrow. You can say keep text only, or you can just type it in. Such practices are called companion planting. That'll work as well, of course. Okay. Step 12. Modify the footnote text by changing its font size to be 12 point and its line spacing to be double. So and again, I'm not changing the footnote, but I'm changing the footnote text style, right? So I'm not changing the footnote itself, but the footnote text style, so that this footnote and all footnotes in this document will be 12 point and line spacing is double. So to change the footnote text style, I right click on the footnote and create style. No. How do I do this? So right clicking, get the cursor on the footnote, right click and say style ... The ... tells you a dialog box is going to pop up with more information. And then I get to the style dialog box. And for the footnote style, I'm not typing that in. It's because I selected a footnote when I clicked the style dialog box. I can edit this. And I want to modify it to be 12 point and double spaced. Okay. And I apply that. And now my footnote is 12 point double spaced. Not just this footnote. I mean, it is this footnote now. If I put the cursor on it, it does show up as 12 point and double spaced. But that's not how I did it. I did it by changing the footnote style. And that's what it's going to grade you on, is changing the footnote style to be 12 point double. In the main body of the document, find all instances of the text abandoned and replaced with the word vacant, V-A-C-A-N-T. Let's do a find and replace. So in the Home tab, there is a find and replace option. Go into replace. So replace abandoned with V-A-C-A-N-T. Now I'm going to do a replace all, and we should get 2 replacements. Next step. Cut the paragraph. Micro farms include private gardens, ... goods for sale and profit. And paste it so it becomes the third body paragraph. Micro farms, sales and profit. Okay, there's micro farm, sales and profit. I'm going to cut, Control X, I'm going to paste it so it's the third paragraph, third body paragraph. First body paragraph in the United States, second body paragraph, a recent trend in agriculture. So at the end of that paragraph, here's my third body paragraph. I'm going to paste Control V so that micro farms for sale and profit is the third body paragraph. The fifth body paragraph that begins in rural locations and ends with 2 employees, edit the four-tier citation to add a page number of 25. So the fifth body paragraph, that was third, fourth, fifth body paragraph in rural locations. Here's the four-tier citation, and I want to edit it. So I click on it, and then I get this little drop-down arrow, and I can say Edit Citation. And in my Edit Citation, if I wanted to, I could have it suppress the author or the year or the title, and I can add 25 as the page number. And now it puts that in there for me because I added the page number. Step 16, modify the works cited paragraph as follows. With the insertion point immediately before works cited, insert a manual page break and then center works cited on the new page 3. So put the cursor immediately before works cited and insert a manual page break. I do this under Insert, and then there's Page Break. And then center, Home tab, center the paragraph. With the insertion point in the left-aligned blank paragraph at the end of the document, so underneath works cited, insert the bibliography command using to insert a list of sources without built-in headings. Use Insert Bibliography. So the cursor goes below works cited, the last part of our document. I don't know, I think there may be an extra line there. It's not supposed to be there. I think I may have done that accidentally. Because it seems like it's supposed to be right there. But it's supposed to be left aligned after works cited. Go under References and Bibliography. And underneath Bibliography, there's Insert Bibliography. So again, under works cited, cursor on the left margin, References, Bibliography, Insert Bibliography, and it will add for you all of your references that you've created as you were working on your paper. After reviewing the bibliography, you notice that the year is missing from the Harris source. So find the Harris source and enter 2017 as the year. So let's go under our Manage Sources, References tab, Manage Sources, the Harris source. So click on the Harris source and say Edit. And when I see the Harris source, I have year access, but the year was left off. The year is supposed to be 2017, because that's the year of the source, which is different than the year you access the source for the paper. So the correct format should be October 24th, 2017, and then it was referenced in October 2018. Now, it doesn't show the 2017 there. That's the next step that we're going to have to update this. Update the bibliography field so that the works cited list reflects the edit we just made. So even though we edited the sources, the bibliography didn't change. We have to do to change that is click anywhere in the bibliographies and then right click and say Update Field. And now the Harris source has both the date of the reference and the date that it was accessed. Check spelling and grammar. Ignore names. You should find and correct one spelling error at least, ignoring names. So we want to, for this document, we want to go under the Review tab and Spelling and Grammar. Ignore proper names. So build, we want to change that, but we're going to ignore Matheson, and we're good. Okay. Document should look like this, and I think it does. I see the half-page indents. I see the page number 25 on the fourtiere. I see the footnote at the bottom. I see the works cited with the 2017, 2018. So it looks good. Go back to your document. Be sure you take your name _2, save it, close it, and then submit it through the website. Should get the 3 check marks, 3 green check marks. That's good. Then you can go into the Reports tab, and in the Reports tab, find the Word2 project. Look at the report page, open that up, and this time we get 100 out of 100.